The worst part about PvP is playing PvP. Watching PvP can be quite entertaining.
100% can get behind that. And here we go. We are jumping into our quarterfinals, our first quarterfinals here of this week's Sparkling Tuna Cup. In the top right hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Teal Protoss. It is LunaSea.
His opponents, the young up-and-comer, the Blue Protoss, it is Shameless.
He's so shameless.
Little Fairy, that is something I've seen before as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Little Fairy
it's been around the block quite a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, I believe it is mainly a Chinese team, but they have some players from outside of China that they do support as well, from Europe, from out in other regions.
All right, we're kind of lucky that China has so many people, you know.
Mm-hmm.
There's always people that are crazy to enjoy RTS games as much as us.
Yeah, they're very passionate, right? Very passionate community with SC Boy and all the other big Chinese teams as well. So definitely a lot of love to them. Even willing to support some of the other players outside of China as well, which I'm sure definitely has helped Shameless in his growth in StarCraft as we settle into our PvP here. And despite the chaotic nature of PvP, Shameless, he just went for one of the greediest builds you can go for. He went Gate into Nexus before Cybercore. This is the greediest build you can, outside of like straight up Nexus first. This is crazy out of Shameless.
Well, I like it. I do like it. LunaSea, how is he going to respond, you know? The ball's in his court. Mm-hmm. Are we going to throw down more gateways right now? Are we going to go straight into the Adepts, chrono those out? What's the plan? A proxy?
Yeah,
this looks like Stargates, or would you say Robo?
I mean, based on its location, right, it is prime for a Stargate, right, to go into the main base to get some economic damage. Just because he saw the opener, because Shameless is being so greedy, LunaSea has to do something to make up for that, something to catch back up economically.
Yeah, one of my friends once put it in a way where it's like, it just puts it very obviously, right? Like, once you know you're in this position where your opponent has made a greedy move, either you can choose to just start playing greedy yourself and accept that you're behind in the game, or you can try to utilize the tools that you've now created in a way to equal out the game in a sense again, right? Try to push your advantage that you have with quicker aggressive units and try to eke out something in that sense. And we're seeing LunaSea opting for that second way of approaching the game, because in the first way you're just always going to be behind, right? There's no way to catch up anymore.
Yeah, 100%, exactly, especially in a mirror matchup, right? Especially when you have the same tools as your opponents, you need something here to make that difference, otherwise you are just perpetually behind. And for now, we're going for the aggression. The Adepts, they threaten the Shade so far. The Adepts, they will distract Shameless, and the Oracle is almost done rallying into the main.
Yeah, and he comes with those probies. Good pull away so far, not losing a single probe just quite yet. Oh, never mind, there does fall one. But one Adept goes down as well, so they should be safe in the natural. The main base has that shield battery set up. It's going for the stasis.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's rough.
Massive connection. Late reaction there at a Shameless. A little too late to pull away, and a massive connection. Half the mineral line gets caught out.
That is a big difference. Suddenly a big spike up in the income graph right there. Up to 600 difference for a moment, a brief moment, but one that's going to be relative.
Yeah, definitely.
Relevant, and relatively.
They are
and relatively important also.
Exactly. Yes. I believe they are cousins. As we are as here we go, we have double Oracle diving into the main base. Double Oracle, they can one-shot probes. Probes are going to be going down despite the shield battery. 3 worker kills already, and behind this there is no blink. The Oracles, they will get away.
Yeah. Hallucinations will not damage you. Immortals are on the way.
Yeah,
They're coming up out of LunaSea here afterwards. And has he done enough? The probes overall are still in favor for Shameless. And you know what? These Stalkers going down definitely not helping out either. I think LunaSea just, rather than using the aggression to equal out the work account, it's kind of dug himself into a deeper hole, which of course is the downside of this strategy. If your aggression doesn't work out, the problem you're facing is going to get worse.
Yeah, I mean, he's done some good damage, but as you're saying, like, he hasn't done enough to recover fully, which is why, what do we see here on the production tab? 5 gates on the way. We're going for a 2-base all-in, building up Immortals and going for Glaive Adepts.
I like it. I like it. There we go. Just put the pedal to the metal. It's all going to get scouted, however. That Phoenix, quite a lovely timing. Shameless should be in the know. What buttons to press from this point onwards? It's a lot of shield batteries, I imagine. It's a lot of Chronos on gateways. Try to get your units out. Get those Immortals.
Exactly. Like, thankfully, he was already getting to his own Immortal production, which is going to be ideal defensively. +1 is on the way. It's possible that this upgrade is going to come into play when it comes to the timing of the all-in. And more importantly, we need shield batteries. Shield batteries are also in production here. Shameless, thankfully, is aware of what's going on. Despite that, can LunaSea still pull this off?
Oh, that is a scary amount of Immortals. 3 of them waddling across. They're going to be facing off against 1 Immortal and 12 Stalkers, which is a decent amount. With the 10 Adepts right there, it's going to be difficult to really get on top of those Immortals, I imagine, as well as LunaSea. Very much capable of spreading out those Adept Shades, of course, here, forcing those Stalkers to spread out a lot more than LunaSea's army may have to. Let's see how this is going to work out.
There we go. He does spend a Shade towards the main base. Immortals able to push in, and he does give it to the Shade.
Just straight up goes on in there, committing fully for the engagement. The Stalkers blinking forward, get on top of the Immortals. Will be able to force. Wait, actually, no, that is not enough Adepts, unfortunately. And the Stalkers reinforcements more than enough.
Yeah, even diving on top of the prism, forcing the recall. The Immortal is not going to be saved, and Shameless, he completely shuts this down. As you mentioned, the scout was so crucial for Shameless. It was fully aware of what's going on. Thankfully, he didn't expand, right? He didn't take a 3rd base before the push. He did focus on warp ins, on shield batteries, on production to make sure he had an army to defend.
Yeah, and with that blink upgrade, I'm actually thinking, like what I was saying with trying to spread out those Stalkers, it really wouldn't have worked, would it? Because if you do commit with those Adepts into the main base, maybe just a small amount of them, you can't send too many, it just leaves your Immortals right there. In a blink forwards, you just can't retreat, it's impossible to. Anyway, the Stalkers now across the map all of a sudden, fighting the Adepts and the Zealots. That is a battle they love to have. 1 Immortal making the waters a bit muddier, but I mean, oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, mate, the water might be muddy, but mate, he's Shameless. He doesn't care. He dives in, takes down the Immortal, does blink down to the low ground. We do have some Adepts to defend at least, but that was a massive pick off with that Immortal.
Yeah. Just a quick hop and a step away from shooting down any Immortal here. Blinks away from the Adept Shed as well. Might take him a moment to clean up this game, but Shameless in a tremendous position to do so.
Yeah, I mean, he's getting a 3rd, right? He's getting a 3rd base, getting fully saturated, getting further ahead economically. As you're mentioning, he might be able to break the natural here and now, as there's a lot of Adepts and Immortal production as well. So it's going to be difficult to break, but he's still under no real danger himself.
Yeah, it's just difficult, right? I don't think you want to just continue blinking on top of those Immortals, just because of the vastness of Adepts right there. And you don't have a good way of reinforcing your own Stalkers. Yeah, it looks like he will just be slowing down, getting his own Immortals back at home. We may see him go into Disruptors here, right? That would, I think, would be a logical next step.
Yeah. Yeah, disruptors, they would be amazing here. They're kind of like what you want in the mid game of PvP. For now, just saturating. Thankfully, because of LunaSea's proxy, he does have a way to harass across the map, and he is getting some economic damage done.
Yeah, the adepts, a quick wall of that from Shameless as well. Would love to see Shameless deal with this position here, of course, but he's unaware for the moment. Might become aware, seeing adepts sprawling through this area over and over again. Yeah, I mean, this will be a big battle, actually. Oh my god, how did they get in?
Yeah, there was a blink into the main base. Meanwhile, he recalls back home. He force fields away those immortals. One of them barely doing any DPS here in the fight.
Okay. Okay, that is a slaughter. This is only going to go one way. There we are. Yeah, GG. Shameless takes game number 1.
GG, well played. Shameless, the young up-and-comer, the prodigy himself, does take a lead in the series, and the pressure is now on LunaSea to bounce back. Again, Shameless kind of dictating the pace of the game there. Remember, he was the one that went for the insanely fast Nexus. He's the one that kind of forced the aggression out of his opponent, and thankfully he was able to confirm it as well. He was able to confirm and scout the all-in.
It's always the best feeling where you know what is going to happen. It's like such a relaxing feeling in the game of StarCraft 2, where it's like, okay, no, I know what to do now. Finally, don't have to worry about this and this. Well, a little bit still, but
yeah, exactly, as we are getting ready here for that second game. Likewise, looks like we have some other updates going on in the bracket as well, and I don't know if you're too familiar with these online cups, Kozan, but yeah, they have a bit of a reputation, not just this tournament, but online tournaments in general here. When it comes to PvP, I don't know if you've heard that kind of discussion pop up from time to time, but we're running out of Zergs and Terrans. Let me just tell you, they're getting knocked out, Pappy. They go, oh no, I'm seeing a lot of green on the bracket, is what I'm getting at.
It happens. It happens. I mean, having that time in the sun. Of course, we still have Cyril leading the flagship, making everyone else feel terrible at the game. As well as Clem. Those two guys. Oh, we thought it was so much fun when they showed up first, didn't we? We all had a great bit of joy. Now we see what happens.
Regardless, we're jumping into our next game, and spawning in the right-hand corner, we have this South Korean Protoss player. The Teal Protoss down in the series. We'll see if we can bounce back. It is LunaSea.
His opponent rocking the other type of blue from Team Elvins or Team Little Fairy. Or maybe they're called both. It is Shameless. I'll look it up on Wikipedia. I'm committed now, ain't I? Shameless. Okay, no, it is just called Little Fairy.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
Elfkins. Elfkins sounds like Munchkins or something like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like elves.
Like, you're not wrong. Like Elfins. How do you get from that clan tag to the team called Little Fairy? Like, what's the connect here? Like, what's going on?
It must be like some Chinese thing, right? Where they have a mythical creature which is in between an elf and a munchkin, and they kind of want to be that, and then they try to maybe something like that.
They Google translate and it says fairy. It's like, oh, okay, I guess that's what. I guess that's.
Yeah. And then a better translator came along later on, and they were like, oh, it should be Elfkins. Oh no. And then they thought, well, from now on, we'll every name input we'll do Elfkins instead. I love just random theorizing about nonsense like that.
Theorizing, mate, that's facts. What are you talking about? What's
That's all facts.
What do you mean? That's some insights, mate.
As we know the business insider deals.
Exactly.
LunaSea. This is quite something, isn't it?
Yeah, our eyes have been on this probe the entire time here because it was very suspicious. The pylon gets thrown down, and we are getting ready for a one base all in. The robo has been thrown down. Shameless once again went for a more economic start.
Oh.
Nexus already on the way here for Shameless, but he's up against an all in, and he scouts.
Yeah, the speed of that scout, that is cruel. That is immediate. It's up to the point where you're like, you know what? As soon as he saw that probe, that there's a reasonable debate to be had to cancel it. You know?
Yeah,
I mean, like, you know what? Okay.
It's a hard call to make, right? Very hard call to make, because I mean, like, if you cancel it, I mean, your opponent already has a natural. Like, you're going to be behind anyway. Like, we may as well just send it, Pappy, and here we go. The all-in will continue. Shameless, of course, is fully aware. Behind this, Shameless, he responds with another gateway and a robo in the main, so he's going to be having access to his own immortal production eventually.
They will be there. He's got himself a wall of setup, the shield battery in production, another one coming up behind it. He's not taking any chances for the time being. It's all out defensive production right now. Getting ready for the push at the front door, but is that where this push is gonna strike?
I mean, wherever it goes, Shameless sees, like, right? Like, he has a hallucination. He sees the prism coming right in. He does respond. He's already in position here as well with his two stalkers, with his sentry as well. An episode, they're going for the middle line, but the shield battery is done.
Oh, another shield battery. He has 4 shield batteries right now? 3 of them. Okay, just 3.
Yeah, 3 shield batteries in position. So far, no economic damage being done. The middle line so far are safe and sound. They do threaten another shade in towards the main, but the army is ready. The army is in position, and the Immortals are on the way.
Absolute nightmare fuel seeing those adept shades. It's that near probe lines.
Yeah, so force fields are going to be locked down. We do try to go for the Immortal, but again, we do have that War Prism. So nice juggling here by LunaSea. Saves the Immortal.
Sorry, I got a nice meme in the chat. Anyway.
Oh, no.
My goodness. Numbers. Tell me the numbers, like.
The numbers, I mean, 5 pros just went down. We just lost 5 workers here. Meanwhile, the Immortal count here of LunaSea is looking decent, but the force fields, they lock him down once again, and the Immortal goes down!
Ooh! That's a good pickup. Staying alive. I mean, it must be so hard to go through this shield battery right now with pretty much the same units as your opponent. Maybe even less right now. LunaSea. How do you get yourself out of this pickle?
Yeah, you have to rely on your opponent making mistakes, right? Like, if Shameless overextends, if Shameless has some miscontrol and does end up losing some workers, if he misses a lift, then it's possible, but so far the lifts are solid. So far, Shameless, he is holding the ramp.
Alright, targeting the Cyber Core. Could be one way to kind of interrupt the flow of units for Shameless, but Shameless not having any of it. Stepping out forwards, giving chase to the Teal army. Nice, you're gonna have to run with that tail behind, in between their legs, and behind. Everywhere.
Oh no. They're all over the place here as Shameless feeling confident enough to break out of his own contain. He's now out on the map. He's chasing down the proxy, location even.
It is still 3 Immortals shooting here, actually, with good target fire. That's rough. Great pickup micro there with the War Prisms being showcased by both these players. But, I mean, it's dwindling here for LunaSea. It's tough to say, but...
Yeah, I mean...
I think he's gonna recover here anytime soon.
Exactly. He's going to attempt to. We do see LunaSea dropping into the main base once again, going for the mineral line. He's actually going for the robo.
Okay. A good way to shut down the production once again. This is what he needs, right? He's behind in the overall economics, but if those buildings are unpowered, they can't produce no matter how much money you have.
Exactly. LunaSea is in a rough position here. I mean, he is once again going to be trading with the army. Did depower the rover, so nice pickup here. Lifeguard's pushing in towards the right-hand side. He's trying to dive in. Alas, he's still... It's still an uphill battle here as he's pushing into, what is that, 4 shield batteries?
Yeah, it's ridiculous right now. Absolutely shameless from Shameless. He will not let go of his position. He knows all he has to do is stay around those shield batteries right now. And LunaSea, I mean, at this point, I'm almost wondering what will happen if you build 2 Nexus right now. I don't know.
I mean the probe counts are, they're pretty close. That's what's crazy, right? 18 probes. 18 probes went down, right? He has dealt so much economic damage, but despite that, Shameless is still up in economy, still up in workers.
It's too late. It's all too late. Off he goes. He's chasing down the last remaining units of LunaSea here. Trying to recuperate at the place of reinforcements, but I mean, look at that. That's just way too much. For Shameless.
Yeah, exactly. The blue and blue violence here as the proxy has now been camped. The rover is going to go down, and Shameless, he will overwhelm. He's going to double the supply. He's still up in workers, up in army, up in everything. He has 3 immortals, and LunaSea, things are looking bleak for him. He's once again going for his own drop play. He's hoping to try to find some damage here, but is in a rough position.
I think to destroy his own pylon as well. And realizing he doesn't have time to because there's a drop in his moon base. Yeah. The one way you need, what you would need to have happen here is for Shameless to like make mistakes so gruesomely bad that he would lose all self-respect. Really.
You're saying that he would have to be shameless.
He would be, yeah. Wait a moment.
Hold on a minute now. Do we have a chance? Do we?
There might be something in here.
Shameless dropping into the main. Yes, I mean, he confirms as well, still no expansion, right? Still no base.
Remember that movie we were talking about? With the basketball. Oh, there it is. GG. This was like where the monsters, they just turn into their massive basketballs DNA of NBA players' infused selves. Right? And they just start wiping the floor with all our beloved Looney Tune characters.
No.
That's what that felt like there.
It took me a moment to figure out what you were talking about. You're like, the movie with the basketball.
The thing.
What?
And then, I keep adding on with the NBA DNA because that's what they do. They infuse themselves with the DNA of the NBA players, and then they become those players, kind of, but then better because they're aliens.
Yeah.
And they're so good at basketball at that point.
Yeah, that did happen. Did you know they released a sequel recently? They released a Space Jam 2.
I don't think they did, no.
You're like, nah, mate, you're mistaken.
I don't think so.
My bad. I think I misspoke. I think of something else. Think of Airbud.
Yeah, I remember that.